Hello, everyone.
Hello, authors, book lovers, and storytellers. Welcome to another Reader's Magnet featured author interview, and my name is Mark. I will be your interviewer for today, and with me is one of the Reader's Magnet featured authors that is here with us to share his journey as an author and to tell us more about his book titled The Reluctant Duke of Kingsford, a ghostly love story. We have Ernie Rowell. Hi, Ernie, how are you today?
I'm well, thank you, JV. Hope you're doing well too.
That is great to hear, Mr. Ernie. By the way, I am Mark, your author interviewer for today, and I can see
Yes,
Mrs. Your wife there with you. Okay,
I'm
so
right here.
yeah,
I'll
I
be in
just
and
wanna
out.
Okay, okay. Thank you. I just want to thank you for attending our session today, Mr. Ernie, and we are really glad that you chose our platform, Reader's Magnet, to share your story with the world. And we are really excited and thrilled to have this session with you because we really want to know more and be educated about what your book is all about. Now, for my before we start the session, I want you to introduce yourself first.
Okay, my name is Ernie Rowell. I have been have interest in writing for many, many years, and I've had the book that I have had published. I had this thought of this story had been running through my brain for many years, and I finally reached a point where it had to be put down because if I was afraid if I didn't, I was going to lose it. So I
Mm-hmm.
am thankful that I got it all on paper so you could print it.
How about
That's
you?
great. Can you please
Myself,
tell us? Mhm.
myself, I have been a carpenter for 28 years,
Oh,
but my
wow.
experience was pretty good. I liked to do what I was doing, but I always had this urge to write. And
Mhm.
I've written some smaller stories, just cute little stories for kid children. And this particular story kept running through my mind, and it had
Mhm.
to be written. And so the book has
There
been
you go.
published.
There you go. The birth of your first ever book. You've mentioned you have written few children's book. I wonder if you are you planning to publish those books as well.
Yes, I do. I have several books that I have prepared. I'm doing some.
Children's
Pardon?
children's book.
Oh, children's books? No, I have not written any more children's books, but
He wants to know if you
I
might
did
publish it.
one book. It's called Timmy and the Bat Boy. Timmy the Bat Boy, and never have had it published, but
Mhm. Are
it's a
you planning?
really interesting story.
Mhm. That's cute. Now, I want to proceed with knowing more about your book today, which is The Reluctant Duke of Kingsford. I want you to show the book on camera like this and tell
Okay.
us what the book is all about. There you go.
Tell him what it's about.
Tell us.
It's all about a young man who is at
Mm-hmm,
college, the son of a duke,
mm-hmm,
and he is called home early because his father passes away prematurely, and he has to step into the position because he's the only one in this line of succession, and so
mm-hmm.
he is reluctant to take the position, but does anyway.
Okay. I
The
can.
book centers around his life and the life of his family and
Mm-hmm.
his responsibility to the queen. That's
Oh,
pretty much the
interesting.
story.
Uh-huh.
He does
I can
marry
actually
his
see.
life. He does marry his lifelong friend that lived in the same area. She
Mm-hmm.
lived behind the manor with her father, who was the gardener.
Gardener. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. So I can see that the subtitle is a ghostly love story. Are we expecting a love story in this, book?
Yes, that's the story that I really am writing about. Um,
Mm-hmm.
he's reluctant to talk to his mother about marrying this girl because she's a commoner, and
Mm-hmm.
he's a duke now, and
Mm-hmm.
so he's a commoner, so or she's a commoner. So that's the story basically. That he goes to his mother at the behest of one of the ghosts, Aunt Martha, and so the story goes from there, and they eventually do get married.
Okay, so I'm sorry, please correct me if I'm wrong, but did someone die in the story?
Yes,
Because it says a ghostly love story. So
yeah. The
how
young
will that
man's
work?
father died, and had to take his place.
He wants to know about the ghost.
Oh, the ghost! The ghost is Uncle George and Aunt Martha, and they are residents of the manor because they were lost their home and everything to a gambling bet, and so he
Oh,
moved in with his brother, which was his great grandfather, and so it's
mm-hmm.
a very inclusive story.
Oh, yeah, I can actually see and feel that it is a very interesting story. Now, I'm wondering if we are going to expect some horror at the same time romance in this book of yours, Ernie.
No horror.
Mhm.
No horror.
No, nothing any further as far as romance, except that
So,
there's some segments in there that introduces them to themselves, to each other, and so forth.
mm,
They had to reacquaint after he came in from
mhm.
college.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Now, I want to know what inspired you to write this type of story.
Well, I can't really say anything inspired it. It just kept moving around in my brain. I had been
Mm-hmm.
formulating it in my mind, and
Mm-hmm.
it got to the point I needed to put it on paper. So that's what I did. And but the inspiration came to me from my mind. I was
And
really pushed to write it.
okay. Now that makes your book very authentic and genuine. I mean, original, you know? So that means that you are not really actually using someone else's work or, books to inspire and create a new story. And that's great. That's great. And we for sure, not me alone, is very curious about what the book is all about. I'm sure pretty number of our viewers right now is actually interested of knowing more about this book. Now, I want to ask this though. What do you want your readers to take away? Or what do you think will your readers will learn from this book, Ernie?
I think they would just find the insight in the experience of a duke and his experiences in working for the queen. And
Mm-hmm.
also, the love story centers around their life together, and they end up having children and all. It's just a very interesting story, and the
Mm-hmm.
love idea is just very pertinent in the story. It's a
Mm-hmm.
very major part of the story.
Now, are we expecting a sequel for this book, Mr. Ernie?
I'm working on something right now. I'm going to hold back the title because I don't want to let it too much go right now until I get it worked out.
Mm-hmm. Earlier, you mentioned that you were a carpenter for like I think 20 years, right?
28
Um,
years.
wow. Okay, that's a long time. Now, I wonder what event in life that made you transition into writing a book, Mr. Ernie.
Retirement.
Retirement.
Oh,
In a nutshell, it was retirement.
a- a- and
I was
you've
able
always
to,
had that.
yeah, I was able to spend the time that I needed to write the entire story, and it had been partially done, and I finally just took the whole thing and just went with it. I went ahead with the whole story.
That's great. I can see that, you really have this passion to, create this book and finally it's here for sale, and you're actually promoting your first ever book right now and that's really, I'm really happy for that for you, Mr. Ernie. And I really can't wait to, have this book introduced to all of our audiences right now that is especially watching us today. Now, for my last request, Mr. Ernie, just a random question. What do you think will make a good book?
It has to be interesting, first of all, and spellbinding is my best word to describe it. And it has to be page turning. In other words, you can't lay
Mm-hmm.
it down. And I feel like this story is just that way.
Ooh.
I have received a very high critique on the book, and it
Mm-hmm.
was a 1A, which is as high as you
Wow.
can receive. And
Wow.
I'm just really thrilled. And I feel, to be honest with you, I feel fulfilled by getting this book on published and
Yeah,
available to the part. I want the people to read it and give it
course.
a fair chance. And I really
Mm-hmm.
appreciate any feedback I can get from that book too. It helps me in my future endeavors.
Okay, I want to know what type of feedback so far have you been receiving from the people that have read this book, Mr. Ernie?
The people I have given books to that are reading
Mm-hmm.
it, and I have in my first edition, which was first published, I gave books to people who had helped me get the books published originally. And
Mm-hmm.
as a result, I've gotten some very good feedback from them. They said the story was engaging. It was warm, and it was like sitting down in your happy chair and
Uh-huh,
reading a
uh-huh.
book that you can't lay down.
And that's pretty amazing for thinking that you actually have no experiences before of writing things before to think that you were a carpenter and you were able to create this type of masterpiece, right?
Well,
Right.
I must say this
I'm
book
sure
came
you're so
from my
fulfilled.
heart, and I want
Mm-hmm.
it to go out to all the public and let them read it and give it
Mm-hmm.
some thoughts of what the circumstances and all were. And I think that's what puts together a good book.
Great. You got it right there, Mr. Ernie. All right. All right, so I think I have asked all of the questions we have prepared for this session, Mr. Ernie, and that would conclude our session for today. Now, for the last time, I want you to show your book on camera and invite everyone to buy a copy of your book.
Please
There
buy
it is.
it. Please buy it.
Okay. Okay. So let me promote it for you, Mr. Ernie. So yes, everyone, that's Ernie Rowell, the author of the book Reluctant Duke of Kingsford, a ghostly love story. The book is available on Amazon and any other retail websites that you can find, or you can visit his website that is www.reluctantdukeofkingsford.com. Again, thank you so much, Ernie Rowell. As we say it here at Readers Magnet, we share your story with the world. Thank you, Ernie. Bye
Thank
bye.
you so much. I appreciate you. See you later.